I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is Congressman Mike Levin. Congressman, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Brittany. Good to be with you.
Congressman, it's great to have you back, and it is really rare to see legislation that's supported by members of Congress of all political stripes. But that is true about the Restore Trust in Congress Act. A bipartisan group introduced the legislation, which would prohibit lawmakers from trading individual stocks. So to start off the conversation, talk to us about the bill. What is the legislation?
Well, the legislation is long overdue, Brittany, and it says that members of Congress should not be allowed to use the information they get as members to trade individual stocks. Members need to be focused on serving the public good, not their own pocketbook. It should be as clear as day that this is what needs to happen. And for far too long, we've seen members, frankly, it's not just one party or the other, that have used the information that they get in order to call their broker and trade, buy or sell individual shares of stock based on what they think is going to happen. But we as members of Congress, in order to do our jobs effectively, represent our communities, we have access to material non-public information that we get, whether it's, clear example was the pandemic, when we heard about what was happening, even if just a day before the general public or a couple days before the general public, you could use that and you could gain financially on that basis. Just the same, there's been a lot of reporting out there about members that may have had advance notice of what President Trump was going to do with regard to tariffs and how you could potentially use that for personal gain. So again, it's not a left or right thing, it's just a right versus wrong thing. And I'm encouraged to see that Speaker Johnson has said he is supportive. Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the House Democrats, has said he's supportive. And I think most importantly for the political moment we're in right now, President Trump has said he supports this. He supports banning members of Congress from trading individual shares of stock. So we reintroduced this or really launched it again on a bipartisan basis. It's not a new idea, but I think it has unprecedented momentum. And it started with 8 Republicans and 8 Democrats, myself included. So the 16 of us is all the first on this bill. And right now, the key is getting more Republicans and Democrats on board. So I'm going to do everything I can to talk to all the members I know to get them on board, because, again, this is so long overdue. It should be common sense. It really should be common sense.
Congressman, I hate to ask a question that seems so basic and so obvious, but how is this not already illegal? Because from what you're describing, it sounds like insider trading. You hear something from a private hearing. You hear something in conversations privately on the floor of the House, the floor of the Senate. You call your broker and you make moves. That sounds and smells like insider trading. So to start off the conversation even more so, how is this not already illegal?
Yes, here's the rub, Brittany. Technically, it is illegal. The problem is that the law is something called the Stock Act, which passed in 2012, and it is completely toothless. Basically, if and when you are shown to have violated the rules, which is to say that you either used the non-public information or that you traded and didn't disclose the trade, you get like a $200 fine. You get a slap on the wrist. So a lot of members of Congress say, well, what's the point? And that's, honestly, just completely unsustainable. So I have come to the conclusion after a lot of discussions with my colleagues, both parties, that, one approach could be just to dramatically increase the penalties under the Stock Act and the reporting requirements and all the rest of it. But I think the simplest, cleanest way to address this by far, is just to ban it. Ban members from being able to trade stock. They can still benefit from the stock market. They just do it with mutual funds. When my wife and I decided, because I say we, you decide when you're running for office, that is a group decision, Brittany. When my wife and I said we're going to do this, one of the things that I said was we needed to divest any individual shares of stock, put it all in mutual funds, and that's what we did. And if you have that arm's length where you're in a mutual fund, you're benefiting from the overall growth of the stock market. So I'm not saying that members of Congress can't do that, But I think that where that line is crossed and where that really that material non-public information is most significant is with regard to individual companies, individual stocks, the ability to short or to buy. All of that to me is just so obviously problematic that the clearest obvious way to fix it is to just do the ban. And it's tough to get everybody on board because people like the status quo. Members of Congress have done well with the status quo. And it's hard to break, just as it's hard to break the campaign finance laws, which are in desperate need of an overhaul as well.